Hello everyone, welcome to the world's finest podcast. I'm Noah, that's Bohdi, and today we're going to be talking about Andor. Andor Season 2 and also Andor Season 1 as well.
Nice. Peak Star Wars right
Yeah,
there.
so we'll get into it, man.
Yeah.
But first off, before we begin, a huge spoiler warning.
Big
Um,
time.
not hold back. So if you
No.
haven't seen Andor Season 1 or Season 2, spoilers.
All right.
And then obviously spoilers for just, I guess,
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars in
Yeah,
general.
for
If
sure.
you haven't seen Star Wars for some reason.
Why are you clicking on the video if you haven't seen Star Wars? I feel like you need to reality
Why
check,
would you click
bro.
on the video if you haven't seen Andor? That's the
No.
question.
Yeah, people need to start watching it, man. I don't know what they're waiting for.
What? Yeah, watch Andor.
For sure.
Eek.
Peak.
Um, so do you want to give like just a rating out of 10 straight up for season 2 and then the show as a whole?
Yeah. So season 2, firm believer that it's easily the best Star Wars season, without a doubt. 10 out of 10, in my opinion. And then for the show, I have my issues with season 1, but as a whole, I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10 as a whole.
Yeah, so for me, season 1 is a clear 10,
Okay, fair enough.
flawless for me. Um, and then on rewatch, because I've seen season 2 twice now, also 10.
Okay,
So the show as a whole is a 10 out of 10
nice.
very easily. And I think it's solidified in my top 3 favorite pieces of media ever.
Really? Is it higher than
Um,
other Star Wars content?
can I count 1 through 6 as one piece of media
I would
or as
say
one spot on the list?
I would say I can count one trilogy. One
Can
trilogy
I
as
count the
one.
original trilogy as one
Yeah,
spot?
I would say that counts. It's all intertwined.
I would say I think the nostalgia factor of the original trilogy puts
For
that
sure.
number 1 in my
Okay.
media of all time. Then it's Andor,
Hmm.
and then if you'll allow it, the Arkham trilogy.
I would allow that. I'd allow that.
That's my top 3. But Andor, like, right, could be number 1.
That's so fair. Like all three you just mentioned. That's very fair. The thing
Yeah,
with
because I also because Andor's like so well praised, right?
mhm,
I don't want to like just hop on
the
the
glaze.
bandwagon. I don't want to just hop on the glaze and just be like that, but I also just, bro, I love this show so
Mhm.
much.
I feel like it's kind of
Like,
yeah, like with Empire, it's one of the most Empire Strikes Back. It's like isn't it like the top 20 IMDb of all time? It's like it's
oh, I think so, yeah.
yeah, it's like
It's
one of the
definitely top
most
25.
yeah, one of the most popular of all time.
Yeah,
But it's still like easily one of the
so good.
greatest movies of
I
all
don't
time.
know if you could. I can't really compare Andor to the original trilogy because they're just like it's just different things about them that I
Hmm.
like. It's probably 1A, 1B.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
My main
but
issue with season 1
phenomenal.
was I felt like some of the slow burn was too slow. Like I'm not saying that like the stakes didn't pay off, but I feel like the slow burn wasn't intriguing enough for how much slowness was warranted. Like that's my main.
Have you, have you just seen season 1 one time?
Uh I've seen it once, but I have started rewatch.
Yeah, because it's definitely better on rewatch, I
Okay.
reckon. Because you just see more things and you know it. Yeah, it's on rewatch. I think it's better. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
applies to
fair.
season 2 as well.
Because like for obviously I haven't rewatched them, but for like first viewing glance, the thing with season 2 is not only are the stakes as a whole I feel bigger than season 1 because obviously season 1 stakes are big, but they mostly are trying to I feel like grow the character development of Andor himself and some of the other rebels, which is great. I love that. But the stakes are so much higher in season 2, so even if it's still slow in some episodes and some arcs are a little slower, it pays off a lot more in my eyes because of how much bigger it expands the universe as a whole. Like episode 8, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of episodes, do you want to get into the
Draft?
draft pick?
I'm down.
So what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna, as if we're picking um players for a sports team,
Hmm.
we're gonna be drafting episodes from the show as a whole, season 1 and 2, 5 each, and see who has the better list, the better team.
Mhm.
So was I going first?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Big advantage.
Big advantage.
My first pick. Um, it's a no-brainer, but at the same time, it's also really close. Like, it's a no-brainer that it's this one, but at the same time, it's like it's really close. So,
Okay.
like, if someone, I know that you were saying there was a clear winner to this draft pick, as in for the first pick. If someone picked my second and my third choice that's on this list as their number one, I would be like, that's understandable.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
I
see.
also do think it is a clear choice for number one.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is season 2, episode 8.
Yeah.
Which is Who Are You?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's not even. It's so much
Phenomenal.
better. I feel like it's so much better than anything we've seen in Star Wars for the past, like, up until this point, 20 years. Like, up until, like, the final act of Revenge of the Sith, this is the best we've gotten. Comics, shows, movies in years.
The last 4 episodes of Clone Wars season
Mm.
7 are better than the entirety of Revenge of the Sith.
What? Come again?
The last 4
No,
episodes of
no,
Clone Wars are better
no.
than all of Revenge of the Sith.
Nah.
Revenge of the Sith is so good. Saw it in theaters for the 20th anniversary.
Lucky.
It was incredible. I love that movie, but
I love Clone Wars, and I
Alright.
love those final episodes, but nothing is going to top. I feel like this is another thing why I like Clone Wars. It just makes me like Revenge of the Sith more. Because, like, those final two,
100%.
because those final two where it's, like, in the midst.
Well,
Okay.
if we're talking final acts, Clone Wars just tops it, man.
No, I don't think so. I definitely still think that Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the, again, I'm not a big, I don't really like comparing and ranking Star Wars against each other a lot.
Fair enough.
Especially the movies. The shows I find a lot easier. But movies wise, because they all just have something different about them that I love. So maybe that was a harsh call.
Okay. That's fair. I think with.
I just felt like I had to say it.
Okay.
It might be tied. Again, I'm just gonna unrank it. Anyway, we got to go on with the draft.
Okay. So you got.
Episode.
Who are you? Should
Can I
I
actually say something?
Go ahead.
Oh, what were you gonna say? Oh, well, because when I was rewatching the episode, so on rewatch, because I remember first seeing the episode, I was like, because I was like, I mean, I guess we'll get into this a bit after,
It's fair.
but I wasn't fully locked in at this point in the season, and as soon as actually it kind of started in episode 7, I started getting locked in.
You felt it was
Because
coming.
that's when they're preparing.
Yeah.
That's when they're preparing. And then, bro, episode 8 rolls around, I'm locked in.
Yeah. Big time.
And then from then on, I think that's just the show just reaches new heights after that.
Yeah. With me,
I
don't.
And then on rewatch, yeah. So what I was gonna say, sorry, was on rewatch when I came back around to episode 8, I was like, is this gonna be as good as I remember? And I was like, oh, actually, I might save this for later in the episode.
Okay.
I'll touch up when we do our moments thing.
Yeah. Small, like
There's
little.
There's a specific moment in this episode.
There's
that
two.
made me go from, that really just made me go, oh yeah, this is the best episode.
Yeah, there's 3 moments in that episode where it's like, holy crap! Like
we'll get to it, but like, yeah.
But like,
what's your first pick?
Okay,
yeah. Sorry.
Before I get into that, just as the episode, I'm not very like physically, like, I wouldn't say shaken, but like physically like invested into like a lot of the media I watch. But when Who Are You rolled around, like I was genuinely so like, yeah, just locked in. Like I was just everything zoned out. It was just that.
Locked in.
Yeah, it was perfect. But do you think it's fair if since you got first pick, I can get 2, and then you can draft again?
I did think about that.
You think that's fair? Or
I was also thinking, All right, we'll see how it goes. But this could be this kind of dog.
Okay.
If you pick my next two, I'm gonna crash out.
Okay, so I'll get to. Okay. So, next two, I'm gonna have to. This is a very clear choice. The Eye, masterpiece of episode.
Wow,
That's masterpiece of episode. I don't know if people like. I think that's a clear choice, but The Eye,
that
and
episode
the
is great.
it's a great episode.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I do not think that's your number one pick.
Number
Well,
well,
other than what I did. That's that's that is not a
well,
first round pick.
I wouldn't pick that
I mean,
unless I
10 out
had
of 10,
another
obviously,
pick.
but
I wouldn't pick that if I had another pick.
oh, I'm
Personally.
feeling a lot more confident with giving you
Okay.
two.
And then it's really a toss up because my biggest thing with season 2 is I felt like every single arc had such a good final episode that
It's always the way.
yeah, like every single arc had a final good episode that's hard to choose them except for one. One of the episodes I'm clearly not as big of a fan of as most. But next
I guess we'll get to that.
I'd probably have to say Welcome to the Rebellion. Honestly, that's what I have to choose next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my second pick.
Yeah, because that's just amazing.
That was nearly my first pick.
Okay.
And
Really?
I was like, no,
What?
it's episode 8. No, because that's what I said before, how it was like, it's close, but it's also not even close.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's not
okay.
even close. It's episode 8. But then episode 9 is just also so good.
It's fair. That's fair.
So good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
me getting 2, because obviously obviously this is personal ranking, but if I was going just to draft for winning the majority vote, which is what we're doing in the comments, you guys can vote who eventually has a better list, which is what we were doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Forgot to say
Yeah,
that.
if I was doing just that, my list would be swapped around. Like I would be inverting myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I'm going
Well, I feel
personal
like-
here.
I feel like my personal, now I also don't really know how a lot of people would rank these, but I am of the feeling that my personal, many people will agree.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And also, my personal is also filled with recency bias.
Okay.
So
I think that's what most
I'm-
people
I
are
shouldn't
feeling
have
too.
said that. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, it's my turn. And I feel like I was very surprised you didn't take this.
Okay.
Um,
I think I have a
with
clear
your-
understanding in
with
my
your
mind
two picks.
what it is.
But One Way Out.
Really?
Episode 10 of season 1.
That's
Why are you surprised?
because I was expecting you to say that, but I didn't think you would enjoy that as much as the other ones, as much as some of the other.
Oh,
Really,
it's good.
it
I
is
think,
really good.
I think I watched season 1 the way through, I think twice, maybe 3 times. I think maybe 2.5 times. One Way Out, I've gone back and watched like just One Way Out or
Mm.
just the prison arc like 3 times or 4 times,
Sure.
separate to the full season. I think just that episode I've seen like 5 times.
Yeah, that episode I love.
Probably my most watched episode of television ever.
5? I get it's 45-minute episode, but 5? Really? That's crazy, bro.
Well,
crazy.
yeah, it's just such a good episode, dude.
It is. Such
I
a
mean,
good
I don't think it's
episode.
the best episode in the season. I'm not saying it's the best episode in the season, otherwise it would have been my number 1. I mean, not the
Okay, I
season,
was
the
gonna
show.
say, yeah.
Otherwise it wouldn't be my number 1. But, at the time,
That's
I was
fair.
like, this is just,
It's fair.
it's phenomenal.
And then just touching up on something you said earlier, you were talking about how Star Wars shows are a lot more easy to rank, and than
Yeah, well, I
movies.
don't have the same connection to the shows as I do to the
Okay.
movies.
Although I'd have to agree
And
with
also,
you.
I feel like the shows vary in quality so much more than the
Mhm.
movies do.
Although I'd have to agree with you on two things, that they vary in quality, and I'm a lot more like emotionally attached to the movies. I feel like
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same.
at this point, Clone Wars, Andor, and Mandalorian are all like 1A, B, and C for like my favorite, because they just all have such high moments. And I know Mandalorian season 3, no one liked it, but I actually enjoyed it for the most part. But I feel like seasons 1 and 2 of Mando, I'm picking over season 1 of Andor any day, and it's not a competition. But that's kind of my personal like thing. But draft
I
back.
mean, I love Mando season 1.
Yeah, season 1's
I love
great.
it.
Hold on, let
That
me
was-
mark
but
these off. Real
I don't
fast.
think season 1 of Andor, I think, is just, yeah, flawless. I don't think it touches. I don't think season 1 of Mando touches it, but it's okay. I reckon that's a conversation for another time. We should like rank Star Wars shows or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just marking
That'd
off
be
the
fun.
episodes picked so far. Um, next I get picked, right? You just picked. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um, it's so it's such a toss up at this point, but I feel like there's 3 episodes here left that I would
I
rank
think from here
masterpieces.
on out is where it gets tricky.
Yeah, because I think there's like 5 episodes that are blatant like masterpieces and everyone loves, but then after that it's like totally like it's really like opinion based. Like there's not a definitive answer, but
Yeah.
I'd have to say make it stop season 2 episode 10.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my pick.
yeah, because dude, that whole entire freaking Luthen showdown with Dedra 2 is just so good. I
I
love.
think I think sometimes people forget, or not people forget. It's pretty recent, but I mean, you kind of just when you think about it, it's kind of crazy that that much peak happens in one episode
Mm-hmm.
because you've got his meeting with Lonnie, him killing Lonnie. You've got the meeting with Dedra,
That was
where,
one of the greatest scenes
where
in
he
television history.
where he where he stabs himself,
Uh huh. One of the greatest scenes.
and then you've got all the flashbacks,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got all the Claire stuff with the hospital.
Yeah, and then not just that,
Just phenomenal stuff.
and then the Dedra, like Dedra, like actually has like some of the biggest character like growth we've seen in like the entire show. It was fantastic, phenomenal episode.
It's probably the episode with the most happening in it.
Yeah,
Like most episodes are relatively, they don't have too much stuff that happens in one thing just because of the way the show's paced. This episode moves, man.
mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel slow.
Paced. It's,
Like
it's
it,
so it's probably the fastest paced
but
episode in the show.
it's like 56 minutes or something. It's like it's still like a extremely long episode,
Bro,
but it
it's
feels
so good.
it's like it
That's
feels like
what
a
you
10-minute
picked.
episode.
That was exactly what I was gonna pick
Yeah.
next.
And then yeah, there's
This
like
is actually where
3 more episodes.
this gets really tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the recency bias comes in of season 2. Because I reckon if I watched season 1 a little more recently, because I think the last time I watched it was like last year. Whereas I've obviously just finished rewatching season 2. So I probably would have more season 1 towards the top of my list. But I'm gonna go. It's a toss up between these two, but I think I'm gonna go season 2, episode 12.
What?
Jedi Kyber Urso,
Really?
the finale.
I felt like that
Yeah,
was the
I mean,
weakest in the entire arc. Not saying it was a bad episode. I loved it.
potentially. I just think it's just got really high highs, man.
That final
Like
scene.
genuinely, I mean, I'm putting it's in the moments. Like when we do our moments top 5 or top 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Season 12, episode 12 is responsible for a lot.
Fair
Just
enough.
the final like 5 minutes is just next level. It's just the wrap up of the whole show.
And then like the lead
Um,
and the lead, like the way it leads right
oh
into
yeah, and
Rogue
also
One.
exactly, and I love Rogue One, and I know you love Rogue One as well.
Fantastic film.
I know a lot of people because there's lots of people who don't like Rogue One, so then they don't like that episode as much because
Yeah, I
they're
don't
like, oh,
understand
we
those
get it,
people.
Rogue One. They're like, oh, Rogue One, we get it. I want Andor, I don't want Rogue One, but I liked it, I loved it. And just wrapping up a show that's been so great,
Yeah.
just felt good. And then also you got the opening,
That was
which
really
is them
good.
rescuing Claire, and
Mhm.
K2 just pops off.
K2
He's
just
just
a
so
goat,
awesome.
bro. It's like
And
no
he uses
dispute.
I forget the guy's name, but he uses the ISB supervisor dude
Like a body
as a
shield.
shield,
Yeah.
as the
That was awesome.
what's his name? He's got like some random name.
Yeah.
I'm usually good with random characters' names in Star Wars, but whatever.
I love
What do you remember it halfway through the episode?
him watering the plant. Like that's enough to make a grown man cry right there.
Yes,
That's enough to make a grown man cry.
Yeah.
It really is. That was such a perfect moment.
great.
I got
Yeah, but as I said, it was very close. That was I actually rewatched some scenes just specific scenes yesterday to help me with
Hmm.
this episode. And yeah, just the ending of that episode was just what made that go here on the list.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, honestly, both lists are tough to beat right now. Like, obviously, you got
I
the
mean, it's such a big show.
yeah, you got the who are you advantage, but
I've got Who Are You
yeah,
and One Way Out, which is
yeah,
definitely, I think I'm winning this, but
you
we'll see
probably
how it
are.
goes.
Okay, so I'd have to again, if I'm rating off of personal, a lot of people hate this episode. A lot of people hate this episode. That probably puts it
I
into
don't hate
my.
any episode.
I love it, but a lot
I
of
don't hate
people
any episode.
canceled this episode. So this is gonna be bad.
Oh, I know what it is.
This is gonna
I
be a
know what it is.
damper for my uh little win. So I might. It's a toss up between like 3 episodes. I'd have to say out of these ones, my favorite is probably Harvest though. Season 2, episode 3.
Episode
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
don't I
you love that episode.
I understand why people didn't like it, but at the same time, I think it's time that people start understanding that Star Wars is maturing. I think that's the best way to put it. Star Wars
Here's
is
the thing that it is. Because the argument is that Star Wars is a kids franchise, and it is a kids
it
franchise.
is.
And Star Wars can be a kids franchise, and Andor can be an adult show, and that can coexist.
But then I understand what they mean
Star
by
Wars is still a kids franchise, and Andor has always been an adult show.
for sure. That's a totally fair.
I definitely see both sides,
I can see
and I
both
don't think
sides.
I don't think anyone is stupid for their opinion.
I don't think that I understand both sides,
I
but
do think the business with like the Star Wars theory drama and how he's like Darth Vader wouldn't allow this.
Darth Vader would have.
That I find stupid.
That's the
but-
stupidest thing.
Because the only thing about that is because like that doesn't matter because the entire point of that scene is like because I'm not saying that Darth Vader would allow it or whatever. That's not what I'm saying is that's not the point. The point is that he doesn't know.
Another thing is, I feel
That's what the point is. This Imperial officer knows he can't be doing this.
yeah.
But he also knows he's not getting in trouble for it.
But there's two sides. I understand why someone may get triggered. Might get triggered.
Definitely.
I
I'm not
understand.
saying we're not saying that
It's bad.
It's not.
No, yeah, we're not saying that that's
People definitely have reason to not like it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's to each their own, I guess.
I understand why people would be offended by it, but I feel like the people that just say it doesn't belong in Andor because it's a real life topic, that's a stupid argument. That's what I have what I have a bone to pick with.
I think if it was in a different Star Wars project, I would hate it.
Like if that was in Clone Wars,
But I
I would
think
call it. It would be
because
uncalled for.
Yeah, exactly. Or if it was in the movies. If it was in the movies, I'd crash out.
Fair enough.
But
I mean, again, like
Andor
Return of the Jedi.
if it's gonna happen, Andor's always been mature. And I think that's just the kind of show where that happens.
And then like the same
If it
thing.
was in a different project, I wouldn't. I was definitely more mixed about it when the episode first came out, but on rewatch, I was like,
No, I from
that entire arc, I warmed up to that entire arc on rewatch.
the second I saw that scene, the first thing that was going through my mind was like, I friggin' love it, but I know everyone's gonna hate it. Like not like that.
Hey, yo.
Not like that. Like I love the fact that they're not holding back.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to be
Yeah.
childish in a show that isn't meant to be for a child audience. It's a more mature take, which is what I like to see.
I was just busy, just like freaking out, hoping she'd get away. But
Yeah.
it was actually like so intense.
Yeah, and that's everything
Anyway, we
too.
got to continue this
It's
draft,
intense.
man. We got to continue this draft.
All right. But yeah, just
But
as I understand why people
we'll
would
get
get
into it
triggered.
more on free talk.
I understand, but
Yeah. So my next pick is the one I just did, episode 12,
mhm.
and the next two on my list are so close.
Interesting.
And I don't like. I'm not a huge fan. I don't rate episodes really. Like I will rate a show or a movie out of 10, but I won't rate an episode out of 10 very much. I feel like I mean, unless it's a specific episode where I'm like, yeah, that episode was a masterpiece. But in general, I'm not going to go through and be like, that's a 9 out of 10, that's an 8 out of 10, that's a 10
Okay.
out of 10. It's not really a thing I like to do with shows. I feel like shows are all about, especially a show like Andor, it's about the build up.
Mhm.
Like if an episode's spending the whole time building up, like I just like to. Anyway, my next pick is episode 11 of season 2.
Okay.
Who else
Yeah,
knows?
that's fair enough. Yeah, I think
Phenomenal.
I think
I it, I reckon it's a better episode than episode 12,
for sure, undoubtedly.
but I just think episode 12 just has higher highs.
Higher highs, and the thing
That's
with
why
episode
episode
11
12.
is like,
I'm a big high highs guy.
yeah,
If something's got high highs, I'm gonna love it.
like your Man of Steel review. I was like, there's no way he actually like really rated
No,
this that high.
that's for another time.
That's
That's for
another
another time.
time. Okay.
There's a lot to get into there.
Okay. Fair enough.
A lot to get into there.
One thing
That's its own episode.
I would say is, it's probably episode 11 is probably the most unique, because most of the time when Andor does like build ups, it's a slow burn. Like that's the entire show. But I felt like episode 11 was a build up with like fast paced action. It felt like a lot more unique as a build up than the other episodes, which I liked. That was one thing I really enjoyed about it, for sure. But yeah, this is tough. I do think that the next answer is, this is actually, it's tough picking between these two, but I feel like this is the right answer. Uh, Season finale of season 1, Rick's Road.
That was my next pick.
Yeah, Rick's Road. That
Yeah.
was
Rick Road is phenomenal.
the first time you watch that, and it shows, like, because obviously in the movies and stuff, and in some of the shows, they're like, we stand up against evil, we stand up against tyranny, but they never really show how absolutely terrible the Empire truly is, and that final like speech is like phenomenal, and it just like shows how undisputably wrong and how like immoral the Empire was, and it puts it into like the perfect little like gift with the bow.
Such a perfect episode.
Yeah, for sure. And we said that about every episode. That's what I love. We said this about every episode.
Hey man, I love it for a reason, man.
Yeah, and although I do think season that like my main, I guess
What
we'll
do
get
you
into
think
that,
is the?
but
Because that's the second season 1 episode you've
yeah,
picked.
that's what I was going to talk about.
You did the Eye, and then this.
Mhm.
Is One Way Out in that top 3?
What do you mean? Like,
Like, so you've picked 2.
okay.
I picked One Way Out.
Mhm.
If I hadn't have picked One Way Out, would you have picked it by now, or do you put these 2 over it?
One Way Out. So my top 3 episodes, it's a difficult thing, but my top 3 episodes are like 2 and 3 are kind of like disputed. Like I don't have a definitive 2 and 3, but 1 is easily, yeah. Not
That's a
one.
W take. I
Not-
respect that a lot.
The number 1 episode of season 1 is probably One Way Out, but my favorite is Rick's Road. That's like the way I'd put it. Rick's Road's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But like the reason I chose the eye before it is because it's a
I
lot
respect
more,
that. It's a W take.
it's a lot more, as an episode I prefer Rick's Road, but as a build up I prefer the eye, because like that 2 episode arc.
The build up to the Eye is so good.
Yeah, but as an episode I would choose Rick's Road. That's like the way I'd go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so what's my next pick? Done that, you've done that. I've got one more pick.
This is our 5th, right?
Wait a sec. 1, 2. I think I've already picked 5, dude.
Hold on.
Oh no, you did make it stop. You did make it stop, didn't you?
Yeah, I chose to make it stop.
Yeah. I've got one more.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, I'm like, who has one?
My final pick. This is tricky.
And I know
It's
the 2 episodes.
between-
I know the 2 episodes you're choosing too. Yeah.
Do you reckon you do?
I think I do.
I don't think you do. You can guess if you want.
Season 2,
But,
episode 6, and season 1, episode 3. Those are the two. Those are the two.
bro, how'd you know
Because those are like the only like
that?
yeah. Those are like the stereotypical best ones. Like stereotyped best ones.
I also have season 1, episode 4 written down.
It's like the worst episode of season 1.
I don't know why I wrote it down. I'm
Yeah,
just looking at my notes. I'm confused. There must have been a moment in there I really liked or something.
I forgot everything about that episode besides the fact that he makes it.
Anyway, I think if I'm doing this to win the draft, I'm picking episode 6. If I'm going off personal favorite, I'm going episode 3.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think it's the opposite.
Season 1, episode 3 is my preferred. But season 2, episode 6, I think is clearly better.
I don't think I know a soul that likes episode 6 more than any of the other finales. Or like in the
Season
show.
2.
F season
6 of
2.
season 2.
Yeah,
What
because I
effects
was
did
not
you
a big
think?
fan of that episode. I wasn't.
On rewatch, it's really good.
Really? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
because you've got the tension is really, really good. The tension is just borderline the best tension. Season 2 is just the tension the entire
The
time.
stakes are so
There's
high.
always phenomenal tension. But I think episode 6 is the best episode at creating tension with the lowest stakes.
That's
Like the highest tension
fair.
moments is like episode 3 of season 2. There's obviously the tension of him getting back home to the farm planet. And then there's obviously the tension of the Gorman massacre. They're just huge moments. Whereas season 2, episode 6, the tension is that so you can remove a listening device. That's the tension.
But the thing
And
is,
it's so like you're locked in.
yeah.
Locked in.
But the Gorman heist, so boring. It's got to be the most. That was just so uninteresting to me.
No, because then you've got when he's not meant to bring the blaster and he does.
That was like I
And then
understand
she
that.
died.
Yeah.
There's obviously nothing compared to the eye.
No, but like
And then you've got her crash out at him.
yeah, that stupid
But
monologue.
I am picking.
Yeah, that stupid monologue in the car. I hated that. That turned my liking towards the episode
Really?
so down. Yeah, I hated that scene so much.
That was a valid crash out, dude.
I hated that scene so much.
Don't you dare cry. I am picking episode 3 of season 1.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I was gonna say I think season.
There is a shot in that episode. This is it's probably one of the things I glaze the most in all of media, in all of fiction. And it's the shot. It's right after, so the car, or like the speeder car, comes through and like they're shooting at it, and then Cass and Luthen aren't in it. And then Cassian and Luthen come around the back on the speeder bike. And Cyril's like, oh man. And then they blow up the car and it explodes and they're like, and there's just this shot after they've gotten away of Cyril just staring, looking at this burning car.
That was such a fantastic frame.
That shot, I think, is like probably one of my favorite shots of all time.
No, that's fair.
It's so good.
You were like,
Bro, it just, I think I'm that shot's number one glazer.
yeah, you said that you think that if you wanted to win the list, you would choose episode 6, but your favorite's episode 1.
I changed my mind.
I
changed my mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I changed my mind.
I think that's the
I
opposite.
changed my mind. I'm just thinking about it now.
I think people like episode
No,
3
I think people like.
than episode 6. I think the serialized rating is like 4.7 for Reckoning, and it's like 4.4.
I don't look at serialized. I look at IMDb for TV ratings.
Yeah, both are fair. Serialized is kind of like people there are kind of odd, but
yeah, it's basically
that's a fair draft, man.
So how many do you have left? Oh, so
Yeah,
how many
I think
do you have
that's
left?
it.
Do you have?
I got I think we both got 5. All 10 of my list got crossed out. And that was
Okay, so
we picked
my
the same
final
10.
5 for the audience was Who Are You? Season 2,
Hold
episode
on,
8.
let me Check this. There you go. Yeah.
Who Are You? Season 2, Episode 8.
Mhm.
One Way Out, Season 1, Episode 10.
Yeah.
Dedekaiba Urso, Season 2, Episode 12.
Yeah.
Who Else Knows? Season 2, Episode 11. And Reckoning, Season 1, Episode 3.
Yeah. And I had Make It Stop. I had Who Are You? Harvest, Rick's Road, and then I get one more, right? Or is that 5? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. I think I got 4. So yeah, I get one more.
All right.
And then for my last one, it's tricky, but I think,
This entire thing's been so tricky.
huh?
This entire thing's been tricky.
Yeah, but
It's been tight.
I think probably the most slept on episode in the entire series is episode 5 of season 2, because like when he finally gets on Gorman for the first time and he like meets the bellhop that eventually says rebellions are built on hope, and then like that entire like the scene where he goes and meets with the Gorman rebel basically, and like he breaks down like their entire strategy. Chills. Like it was such a fantastic like talk.
So much of a revolutionary.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't hate.
Oh, here's something about episode 6. I actually forgot. Episode 6 of season 2 is the one where Bix kills Dr. Gorst.
Yeah.
At the end, great moment.
That was the best part of the episode. That was the part of the episode where I actually liked.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that episode is carried more by what Claire and Luthen are doing than by the heist. Definitely.
Yeah. So
I think that scene carries it a lot.
And
But
then,
I obviously picked episode 3 over it.
yeah. That just reminded me. Yeah, the whole entire left, right, take a step left, take a step right with Krennic. That was fantastic. Like I completely forgot that
all
was
the tension there.
that was fantastic. But I did not like the whole entire Aldani heist. So like as a whole, I'd probably rate the episode.
You mean the Gorman heist?
Yeah, the Gorman heist. My bad, the Gorman heist. I'd rate that like a 7.5 out of 10. If that cool like taking off the microphone scene wasn't there, or like whole entire moment was there, I wouldn't have had that episode, and like that probably would have been the worst of the series. But so you ended up with Reckoning, One Way Out, Who Are You, Who Else Knows, Jedi Kyber Urso. I ended with Rick's Road, The Eye, Make It Stop, Harvest, and I forgot the episode name of episode 5. I forgot to write that down, but
episode 5, season 2.
yeah, I forgot the name of that. I have friends everywhere. That's what it was. I completely forgot. That's like the most popular line in the show. I have friends everywhere.
Great line.
Great episode.
Good list. Oh, episode 5's got the. Oh, and maybe it's episode. No, it's episode 5. It's got the Saw Gerrera speech.
And the Saw Gerrera huff, the gas huffing. That was peak.
Where are you, boy?
That was peak.
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 You want to get into our moments?
Yeah. Or do you want to do arcs first?
You want to go straight into it?
Because I think arcs will build into the moments.
Oh, we can speed through it. Speed through it.
Yeah.
So easy. Well, we've just talked about the episodes in depth.
Yeah.
I reckon we're gonna have the same ranking. Oh.
No. Nah.
No, I don't think we will.
All right. You want me to go first, or?
I'm happy to go first.
All right. Go ahead, man.
Unless you want to go first.
No, you can. I got you, bro. I see you.
Easily for number 1 is the third arc. 7, 8, 9. Not even close.
So we're going 1 to 4 or 4 to 1? 1 to 4?
I'm so stupid. I just started with my number 1 pick.
That one we all have that
Spoiler
number
alert.
1, bro.
I just started with it on me. My number 4 is while I do like every arc to me is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Give or
not
take.
perfect, but
Give or take.
perfect if I activate Glaze.
Mm.
My last place is the first arc. It's great. It's really, really great, but it's hurt a lot by the forest stuff.
What? I like that.
It's no on. It's when I first saw it, I was like, bro. Yeah, I think it's good, but it just lasts too long. But on rewatch, it's definitely better. and then it's also carried then by the Mon Mothma stuff. That's the best part of
The
the
Mon
arc.
Mothma dancing was like the biggest meme for 2 hours.
Oh yeah,
That's the biggest meme for two
bro. That
hours.
bro. Do you know how sometimes a meme, like sometimes you like there's a meme, right? And you start thinking about the meme and you realize that that moment should not be memeable. It's such a great moment.
Well, it's also like it's so
That is such a great moment.
that scene's so heartbreaking too, because like it just fully puts into
Gosh, I forgot about
effect.
that scene.
It fully puts into effect.
Oh,
That's one
that
of the reasons I chose it. It just fully puts into effect how like terrible her life has
is such
become.
a character.
Yeah, Eh, great.
Then next is the second arc,
Okay,
genuinely carried by the Saw Gerrera speech.
fair enough, bro.
If if it wasn't for the Saw and Willman plotline, this would be last place. Oh no, no, I really like episode 6. I like
Yeah,
Claire and Luthen
I was
stuff.
gonna say I'm like episode. You seemed like
I also
episode
like
six.
iFriends everywhere. No, it's a great arc. A great arc. But definitely carried by Saw Gerrera.
Yeah,
And then number 2 is the final arc. It's so good.
yeah. Like
Like
8 through 12.
just it's so good. And then obviously I said it already, number 1 was the third arc, which was 8 through 10.
Yeah. So for me,
I mean 8, oh sorry, 7 through 9,
Yeah.
not 8 through 10.
I've expressed my certain dislikes to episode 6, but I've also expressed my certain loves towards episode 6 and my love for episode 5. Although I love episode 5 and
Is that your last place?
although I love episode 5
Yeah.
and I love some of episode 6, it's last place. Episode 4
Yeah.
was carried.
I was expecting it.
Yeah, episode 4 was carried by Andor shopping with Bix. That was a touching moment. That was episode carried by that. That was cool. If
You said
episode
that's the best part of the episode.
definitely, I'd have to say that because it was just so touching. Because everything that happened with
It's
Bix,
great.
the episode before, I like that.
It is. Yeah, that's fair. That's actually a double take. That's a W take.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. We've been
Sorry
spitting.
for laughing.
Sorry
For laughing, bro.
I think we've been spitting W takes out this episode. Like last episode, I was hating
I feel like I'm a man
F4.
of W takes.
Yeah, you are man W takes because I was hating F4 the entire episode, but now we're swapping it up to Glaze. 3, 1 through 3, fabulous arc.
Yeah,
Fabulous
I knew
arc.
you'd do this.
Heading straight into a rebel mission, like an action-packed rebel mission. Loved it.
I do like that. I like that we start the show with him being a rebel.
Yeah, loved that. Love episode 3.
I also love the aesthetics. I love the aesthetics of Sinnoh,
It's fair.
the planet that he takes the TIE Avenger from. It's very tough. I
Very,
love the aesthetics.
very.
I also love I love the kind of underrated the test pilot suit that he wears.
so peak, bro.
I think just makes for great shots when he's in. Just all the shots on Sinnoh just look so good. Just the colors are just really cool, and then the orange on his suit just works really well.
And then the build up from like 20 minutes in all the way to Who Are You with Gorman. We have to go to Gorman to help get the Death Star up and running. From like that second where we got Krennic all the way to episode 8 was like
Oh, dude, I
flawless.
forgot. Episode 1 has the Krennic stuff.
Yeah, the Krennic stuff.
That's in my moment. That's in my
That's in my
moments.
yeah, pretty good.
Best meme that came out of the show.
And then 2 and 3 are very no, actually I take that back. 2 is 10 through 12, obviously. Fantastic arc.
Yeah.
I think 8 through 12.
Say that again.
I think 8 through 12 as a stretch is probably some of the best stretch of an episodic like
Well,
like-
it broke a record with IMDb. It was like
really.
it was the first time 4 episodes in a row had been rated. Had the average rating. I think it was it. If someone will correct
Was it 4
me
or
if I'm wrong.
5? Because 8, 9, 10.
It was
11,
8,
12.
9. It was 8, 9, 10. Or maybe it was.
Did they not count
I
12?
don't know actually.
Because I'm not saying 12 was like
8,
the
8
best
9,
episode.
10, 11, 12. I think they were all rated like I know they were all rated above 9.4, and I think the record was like episodes in a row rated above 9.7,
Mm,
which
yeah,
hadn't been done before.
that
And
that
maybe it wasn't all five of them. Maybe it was
that
just the last four.
uh,
No, because
and yeah,
episode 8 and
8.
9 have the same rating. They're both this. I think they're both 9.7.
Uh, but still, just
Anyway,
that
and or
stretch,
breaking records. That's what we like to see.
yeah, flawless, like just amazing. And then obviously 7 through 9. 7 was the kind of slow burn that I wish Andor season 1 had. Slow burn for season 8 or Andor season 1. 4 through or episodes 4 and 5 led up perfectly to episode 6. That's a slow burn I liked. But like episode 1 and 2 kind of slow. Like I'm not saying it was bad. It was obviously just getting into the swing of things.
You're talking season 1.
Season one, yes. I wish those were a bit faster because like episode 7 set up episode 8. Like obviously the whole entire season was leading up to that moment, but it set up that episode perfectly, and it felt like you were just diving right into it, and it felt like perfectly paced in my eyes for like a slow-ish burn episode. But yeah, episode 8 is like top 3 episode of television of all time, so that's like automatically number 1 for sure.
I feel like my top episodes of all time would be mostly Andor.
I would say a lot of
It would be
Invincible.
it'd be Andor, Clone Wars, and Daredevil.
I gotta get on Daredevil, bro. I gotta start picking that up again.
Lock in.
And I like
Lock
him.
in.
Bro, Daredevil comics, that
Yeah.
comic series I got was weird, but that's pretty good.
Mm.
You want to do moments now?
Yeah, I reckon.
How about we do this? We both go 5 through 1, but we go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. Because I'd like to see
All right.
like how many shared moments we have.
Okay. I've got some honorable mentions
Okay.
before we begin. My honorable mentions are Krennic's first scene in episode 1,
Aura.
and it's all of it's like the doctors and the ISB people and all these things when they're sitting around the table and they're just discussing how the calcite
Calcite.
and synthetic calcite and calcite alternatives and calcite substitutes. Great meme.
Great meme.
I actually memorized that whole scene,
Really?
every line
Nice.
for the memes. And also, it's just so great.
So
And you're because this is the first time Krennic appears in the show as well, and you're watching. He's like, he's back.
It's been too.
That's his best
The
performance.
king
in the
has
whole show.
returned. Return of the king, bro.
Best performance. Yeah, it's great scene. It's just a really good scene.
Okay.
And then also, when you first see Cyril in season 2, when he's just like, oh, I think it's the Bureau of Standards. It might be the Bureau of Statistics, but when he's just walking through his season 1, episode 2, because the entire episode season 1, oh sorry, season 2, episode 2, the entire episode of season 1, oh my gosh, season 1.
2.
I said 3 times.
Dose.
Episode 1, season 2.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm thinking, where is Cyril? And
where
then
was he?
as soon as I hear the music, his iconic music, and I see his iconic workplace, I was like, I think I audibly went, yes, yes, my king, the return of
Glorious,
Cyril.
bro.
That was a highlight for me.
Okay.
And then also when he flops onto the bed when his
So
mom's
that's a
over,
great
and
meme.
it's
That's a great meme.
hilarious. And then K2SO going nuts at the start of episode episode
I had 2
12
honorable
is also
mentions, and that was one of them.
I think, yeah, that is the extent of my honorable mentions.
Okay. I'll go. Can I go through mine real fast? I
And
just
then
thought of another.
also,
Or do you have one
yeah,
more?
go.
Do you have one more?
No, that's what I've got written down.
Okay. One honorable mention. Saw Guerrero huffing the gas. Perfect.
With
With
Will,
woman.
where he's
With
doing
woman.
his speech.
Perfect.
That's in my top 5.
K2 going ham. Amazing. A lot of fun. And then the one that I think is like a single shot that I think is slept on is when Dedra's getting interrogated by Krennic, and he
Oh
walks over and he
yes.
puts his finger on her head.
Yeah. Improvised.
Chills, chills. It was,
That was
that
improvised. That
was
was
really
script. Yeah.
because she
So
looked like
I
audibly
forget the actress's
terrified.
name. Like Denise someone. She didn't know he was gonna do that.
Yeah, because like
Her
Maggie,
reaction's like real.
yeah, Maggie like Gyllenhaal with Joker in Dark Knight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but those
Yeah.
are all
That's
my
a
honorable
great.
mentions.
That's a great scene.
That was
It's a
a great
W
scene.
pick. W pick.
Okay, man,
You
go
want
on
to
your
do your number
five.
5?
Yeah, I want to see your. I want to
All
see your
right.
five, bro.
Stores half in the gas, man.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That was like
You're not with Luther in your hair.
just such a perfect scene.
Yeah.
I,
That's just a phenomenal scene. It's so good.
my five
Also,
is
I think this top 5 is really close as well.
I feel like one and five are definitive. 4 and 2, 4, 3 and 2 are like toss up. But I think I've narrowed it
Yeah.
down to what I have mostly. But my
Okay.
five, a lot. I got 3 from episode A here. Rebellions are built on hope. My goat going out in a blaze of glory, and dropping off the
And
rebellions are
so,
built on hope. Perfect.
yeah,
Peak lyricism right there.
great. My number 4. Okay, so the next 4 are the places they are purely just for the emotion.
Okay,
Just the
that's fair.
emotional weight they hold. Except number 1 is emotional weight. Same number 2. Emotional weight plus just being peak. Number 1 and 2.
Both.
But number 4 is just the ending. It's Cass when Cass suits up in his Rogue One gear and he walks through Yavin. And it's just got the music and it's the shots of like his Mon Mothma's like ex-husband Harry, he's like in the car.
With
That's a great shot.
the new
It's
wife.
um Saw on Jeddah, all those shots. It's so good. And
Watering the
Player,
plant. Watering the plant.
yeah. And it's just all those shots and he's just walking through and he gets in the ship with Kay and fly off. It's peak.
Perfect ending.
And I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm also going to throw in that I'm just going to include it, even though I would class them as 2 different moments when you got Bix with the baby.
That's a good moment.
Even though I would say they're 2 different moments.
I would say they count.
Bix with the baby.
I would say they count.
I'll put it in. Well, it's like the back to back. The back to back.
Yeah, it's basically the same scene. Like if you looked it up on YouTube, Andor season 2
Bro,
scene.
that hit
Yeah, that was.
Bix with the baby.
I
So
waited.
sad.
Me and Aikman. It was like
I remember because I was just sitting here watching the finale and I was just like, because I'm just seeing the culminate, the finale of like my favorite show of all time. I'm like, this
the
is just
finale.
this peak. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm just sitting there after watching them fly off. I'm just like, that was peak. And then it's just got Bix, and I'm broken.
Dude,
It's the perfect
it
way to end the
was
show.
it
It was
was
just like, bro, going through that, man.
it was an odd. It was so weird. Like when I watched it, it was like me and Aikman would watch like an episode a night. But after episode 10, I was like, nah, we're watching all 3. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And then, like, we turned on, we were started to watching the last episode. And then, as soon as the baby rolled, I'm like, this is a good scene, but I'm not happy to see what the internet says. Because, like, a day after, everyone's like, the son's Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron is Andor's son. Everyone was saying that, bro. That was all
People
of my
actually say
feed.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Like,
I think I heard that once, actually.
one of the writers, I think it was one of the writers for
It's because he's
the show had to come out.
well, Poe Dameron is obviously the best non-sensitive Force pilot in history.
Yeah. Sure. No.
Bro, I actually saw that on my feed the other day, and dude, there's a clip. There's a clip in Force Awakens of him flying his X-wing over Takodana. I saw it on my feed, and he's taking out the TIE fighters. It's like he's flying like Anakin Skywalker.
Han.
He's flying like Anakin. Oh no, because Han's also got the asteroid field.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, man.
Probably, yeah. Oh yeah, Han's does have the asteroid field.
All right.
The X-wing's such a small, agile ship. It's hard to compare to the Falcon.
Yeah. You just did your 4, right? Your 4
Anyway.
was ending.
That was my
Okay.
4th.
My 4 was Mothma's speech. I don't know if that's on your list. Is it?
Definitely on my
Okay.
list.
Yeah, because like that speech.
Definitely not that low as well.
Really, yeah. Because like that
That
speech,
that's low.
it's so good, and then like the whole entire like,
I mean, it's top five. It's top five. I don't know why I'm crashing out.
it's so freaking good. It's so
So
good.
good.
It's that
Is it
episode
the
like
best speech in the show?
yeah,
I think
it's
it's
best speech in
between
Star
that
Wars.
and Luthen's from episode 10 of season one.
Nah, like that's a really good speech, but
I think Mon Moth is. I think Mon Mothma's is better than Luthen's one,
same.
which is that is high praise.
Hmm.
High praise. My number three is just purely for the emotional weight of it. Vix's goodbye.
The goodbye message,
When
yeah,
the goodbye message, and he's like, and he like runs through, and he sees if he can like catch the ship, and he's like, did they leave already and stuff.
that was sad. That
Just,
hurt.
just that really hurt, man.
Yeah, that
That's
hurt.
why it's number three. It's number three just because of how sad it is.
That's fair.
And I'm also curious, is that scene nearly as sad if you haven't seen Rogue One? If you watch Andor and you haven't seen Rogue One before,
No, I don't
and you
think it
don't know
is.
what happens to him,
No, yeah.
I don't think it's nearly as sad.
Neither is the baby. The baby is like,
Yeah, neither,
yeah,
maybe. Neither is the baby.
yeah. My three is Dedra and Luthen, because like when she
Yeah,
walks,
great
yeah,
pick.
because
That's
like
my. I want to put that in my honorable mentions. That's not on my list.
okay, because like
Honorable mention.
they both know who they truly are, and they both know
Oh,
what
and
their
then
intentions are.
he says there are two pieces of questionable
Yeah,
um authenticity or whatever he says. Great line.
and then the Gungan skull too, being in the back, perfect touch.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
And then when she pulls out, as soon as she opened the case, I was like, that's 100% the Star Path unit from season one, and it
Yeah.
was. Great callback.
great work.
And then they just both look at each other.
And then like he stabs himself, and that was so shocking. I didn't think that was gonna happen. That never ran through my course of
So in
action.
character. So in character. That's so big.
It's so big.
An entire episode's so good, dude. Claire's acting in that is phenomenal. When she not pulls the trigger, but when she pulls the thing out. Unplugs his life support, basically. That's
Yeah.
exactly what she did. Unplugged his life support.
That was sad.
You know the actress who played Claire? Andor is her first acting gig ever.
Dang. Well done.
I think
Bravo.
I might be wrong. Maybe it's just in television. No, I think that's like her first acting performance ever.
That's crazy.
And she's like one of the best acted characters in the entire show.
Episode 6 proves
Probably
that.
top three.
For sure, episode 6 proves that.
Episode 6? No, well, episode 10 is easily her best performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily, dude. And then also episode 11 and 12 are also really good. But
Yeah. Sure.
what's your number 3?
I did Dedra.
Oh no,
and
that
Luthen.
was
Yeah,
your number 3.
2.
My turn. My number 2 is Mon's speech.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't think this show is anywhere near as good as it is without the soundtrack, without the score. The score, I'm a score glazer when it comes to a lot of things. The score could be the best thing about the show.
One of.
I mean, it's like the writing and the score.
Yeah. The writing's really
Like,
good.
it is probably my favorite score of all time.
It's fair.
Definitely my favorite television score of all time, which is really high praise. It's just such a phenomenal score.
It's great.
It's so good. And the score in that speech is so good.
Yeah.
Like, when she's giving that speech, dude, I'm ready to charge through a brick wall. It is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Such a good speech.
My 2 is ending of episode 8. When he gets in the Gorman car and he hears the radio of other people like, we need help. And he has K2 and he knows that he can't do anything, so he just breaks down into tears. Perfect ending to a perfect episode.
That's my number 1.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's my number 1 moment in the whole
That's crazy,
in the
though.
whole season.
Really.
When he's... Well, because remember how I said before how I was like, when I
Wait,
rewatched
Hold up.
episode 8, like, will this
Hold up.
still be my favorite
Yeah.
episode of the season? And I came out of it, I'm like, that was really good. I reckon episode 9 might be better. And then the radio starts playing. And you've got the Gorman rebels, they're like walking with each
Yeah.
other. The radio's not playing, and he's in the car,
with
and I'm
K2.
like, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why. Best, such a good moment. I just like that is a great. That is also a great speech.
Yeah.
When she's on the radio, such a good. Yeah, that's my number one.
My number one
I
is
was not expecting you to put that on your list. I thought that was going to be like a unique take of
nah,
mine.
man.
I'm glad to know. I'm glad to hear
Perfect.
we agree on that.
And then I'm surprised this is
Now
on our
I'm
list
curious to hear number one.
or even our mentions. Who are you? The
That was an
whole
honorable mention, didn't wasn't it?
I don't think it was. The whole entire fight. Greatest
It's meant
fight
to be an
in the
honorable
entire
mention.
show. Greatest moment, greatest scene in the entire show. A
That's a really good show.
season
It's
and
really good.
a
Really good.
half of beef built up into one
Not
season.
even beef. It's one-sided beef.
Well, yeah.
That's what makes the scene so
Yeah,
good. It's just him.
yeah, and then he finally
Who
realized,
are you?
and then he realizes the empire's crooked, and that he just spent like years of his life trying to slave out to an empire that isn't what he truly thinks it is, and then he finally sees Andor, and then the realization hits that, this is not who
It's
my
all God.
morals line up, and then he says, "Who are you?" And then he's about to put the blaster down, and he gets shot in the head. That was the most shocking moment in the entire show, and in my opinion, the
Yeah, I
greatest.
agree with that. I agree with that. I don't know why it's on. No, that's better than. That should be on my list.
I was gonna say, I think it's better than the Saw speech, undisputably. But
I think it is as well. I th- I think it is actually. Yeah, that should be on my list. I love that scene.
yeah,
I love that scene. Well, because can I say something about Cyril as a character?
yeah,
So literally since season one, I've been the number one Cyril fan in the
I
entire world.
know, yeah, for sure,
What do you mean I know?
dude. Like when we talk about the show, you're always like Serial, my goat, Serial, and you always misspelled his name. But you're like Serial, my goat, Serial this, Serial that.
No, I call him Cyril Cereal
Yeah.
because every time he
Oh,
eats the
really?
blue cereal, I'm like, this is peak cinema.
Entertaining.
Television at its finest. I've just literally since day one, I've been like, dude, Cyril is he's me.
Literally me.
And at the end of because that was a unique take of mine, him being my goat like that.
That was unique.
And then coming into season two, he just has the craziest because
Arc.
he was a phenomenal character in season one. He's so underrated.
Fair enough.
Like his writing season one is so good.
Fair enough.
I could genuinely talk for ages about like why his arc in season one and season two is perfect.
Yeah, his
And then
character
in season
development.
two, obviously, he's got a lot more screen time. He's a lot more of a main character, and he's got this phenomenal arc. And I'm angry and I'm happy at the same time because I'm so happy because my boy is debatably the best character in the show. He just has such a great arc. Like season two, his arc is just so good. It's like phenomenal. But then the thing I don't like about that is now I'm not the only Cyril Glazer. And now people are like, oh, he's one of my favorite characters in the show. And that was my thing, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was my thing. And yeah, that was my thing.
Mhm.
And then obviously he died.
Rest in peace, man. Go.
Rest in peace, Cyril, my king.
I gotta say, I think Andor is like.
And people, shout out Josh Movies after he
Yo.
saw the episode because he saw it before I did because I think I was working the night it came out.
Mhm.
And he's like, I was like, oh, don't tell me anything, obviously. But he kind of gave away that he didn't really like it. He was like, and I was like, oh boy, something's gonna happen.
He gave it away.
And he's like, you won't like it. You won't like it. I'm like, bro, don't tell me that. And Cyril freaking dies. I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
And I knew. And he was like, when I told him that I liked it, he was like, you did?
Yeah, that's an odd take.
Because I think it just takes maturity to realize being Cyril's day one number one fan, that was just a perfect moment.
Yeah.
It was hard and it was shocking, but
Perfect. Perfect episode.
Perfect character.
Perfect season. But yeah.
Okay, that's on my list. That's on my list, alright.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun talking to you, though.
Good.
I think we did a lot. We had a lot to talk about, and I think we put it out there pretty well. I think we stated our opinions.
I've still got so much to talk about, and time just got away from us.
Yeah. We're like an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes in?
I don't know,
Something
man.
like that. Yeah, I
should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. Well,
Give any bro, I could still there's still so much to say, man. So much to say.
yeah.
Oh, can I say something?
Good.
I love the show's minimal use of stormtroopers.
Peak.
The show rarely has stormtroopers.
Mhm.
And I think what makes that so good is that when stormtroopers are in the show, it's so impactful.
Like season, like episode 3 and stuff.
Like, yeah, well, you barely see stormtroopers in this show because they're sold like they have a specific role in the Empire, and we obviously just see them all the time in A New Hope and the original trilogy, just because the stakes are just higher
Hmm.
and there's just bigger things happening. So it wouldn't make sense for them to be in Andor all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good take. W
Like,
take, man.
so on Aldani, you see like it's just all just the normal soldiers like these guys,
Hmm.
you know. And then same with the Gorman massacre. When they're preparing for the Gorman massacre, it's just like
A whole
all the
bunch of normal
guys in the
guards.
troop armor.
Yeah.
And then you see the stormtroopers for the Gorman massacre start coming in from the sides, and that's when you know like it's getting
It's
real.
getting real, bro.
Like we barely see there's stormtroopers on Sinar, but like they're kind of relevant. They're just shooting at them. Like it makes sense for stormtroopers to be there.
Hmm.
When the stormtroopers start closing in around in Gorman, you know that it's like,
It's time,
bro,
bro.
it's going down. Oh, bro, and then the TIE fighter flies over.
Hmm.
Such a good. This show handles TIE fighters so well.
It just handles everything so well.
The TIE fighter moment in episode 4 of season 1, when they're on Aldani. So Cass is walking with Val on the way to the camp, and they have to get down because a TIE fighter flows over. And it's so loud,
Hmm.
and it's like they're scared. It's so peak.
Peak.
And then there's obviously when it flies over, before the massacre begins.
Yeah.
And there's also that great shot because we were saying how there's the scene of Cassian driving off. It pans up to show Gorman, and it's the building they built, armory or whatever, just looming over the
Yeah.
entire city, and the TIE fighter flies past.
Yeah.
And it's like that was what it was all about.
Yeah.
Even though it was actually about the Alkite.
Calcite. Synthetic calcite, bro. All kinds of calcite. It's a great season. It's probably my top 3 of all time. Without a doubt.
Seasons of television of all time.
Yeah, without a doubt.
For me, it's Andor season 2. Andor season 2. Yeah, I put season 2 over season 1 now, by the way.
Nice.
Season 1, it's actually so hard to compare them because they're so different.
They have a lot of different.
It's such a pace change. It's such a pace change. And at first, I preferred the slowness of season 1, but I think just I like the slow burn of season 1 so much. But I think just the highs of season 2 are high enough for me to like it more.
The higher
I don't think
highs.
season 1 reaches the same. The season 1 just does not reach near the same high highs.
Yeah.
Season 2 is just so much more epic.
Just,
And the epic factor puts it at
I think just
his favorite season of television of all time. Season 2, then season 1, and then it's season 3 of Daredevil.
That's fair. I've heard a lot of good about it.
That's my season of television of all time.
I would have to say probably Invincible season 3. Random, like just out of nowhere. Probably Psych season 6, and then probably Andor season 2. But
W.
yeah, it's a good talk, man. I know we still got a lot to say, but time is definitely not in our favor right now.
Definitely, we've gone quite over time. Next week, we will be back to normal. We will be not just talking about the same thing the entire time. We'll talk a few different things.
Yeah.
And it will be a shorter episode.
Mhm.
And that will be the plan from then on. And I'm sure that Andor will continue to be brought up.
Yeah.
Throughout
It's not just a one-time
throughout
occurrence.
the podcast is alive.
Yeah.
Because it's peak.
It's peak Star Wars.
I have to do a Star Wars shows ranking.
Yeah, we should do that for sure.
Rest in peace, Cyril.
Recipe cereal, goated season. But thank you all for watching.
Cyril. Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Honorable mention for my moments. Cyril eating the cereal in season 2.
Good callback. Good scene.
Ultimate fan service.
Peak.
I also audibly went yes for that scene as well.
Nice. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about Andor. Comment on whose
List was better.
draft pick list was
Yeah.
better. Very important. Make sure you do that.
Have a great rest of your day or
See you
night,
guys.
wherever you guys are. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.